Moly, Thursday was one heck of a news day, folks, was it not? I woke up in the morning and there was the plane crash, commercial plane crash that was flying from India. Well, it didn't make it far at all. From India to destination was the UK to London. And I mean, it's just horrific tragedy. I don't know if there were more survivors. One person survived. But anyway, that was in the morning I woke up. And then by midday, you had the Alex Padilla hoax. That'd be the California senator that he's, move aside, Jussie Smollett. Move aside, Jussie Smollett. We've got a new hoaxer in town, and that's Alex Padilla. They're trying to create some new J6 narrative for themselves. I'll get into that in a minute. And then, of course, the day ended with Israel striking Iran. I'll weigh into all of those stories, and of course, we'll touch on what happened in Los Angeles and Gavin Newsom. There's some news. Two other stories I want to talk about. Gavin Newsom thinks he scored a win here because he went judge shopping and found somebody to, order the National Guard to be given back over to California. I'll weigh in on that, and then what's the last other story I had here that I want to talk about at the end? I don't know. We'll get to it, but first I want to play a game. I want to play a game, and it's called Who Said It? It's like Jeopardy. Who said it? The Ayatollah Khamenei or Candace Owens? And by the way, this was not my idea. Can't take full credit for it. A buddy of mine sent that to me as a joke this morning because we were going back and forth about the insanity, in my opinion, of some of these comments and perspectives about Israel striking Iran. I mean, people are actually taking Iran's side like Iran's the good guys here. But anyway, so I want to play this game, all right? It's called Who Said It? The Ayatollah Khamenei or Candace Owens? So let's just get started here. Let me get my Jeopardy music going. All right, here we go. The Zionist regime is a cancerous tumor that must be eradicated. Who said it? Ayatollah Khamenei or Candace Owens? Got your answer? Okay, yes. It's the Ayatollah Khamenei. All right, next one. The so-called defenders of freedom support an apartheid regime. The so-called defenders of freedom support an apartheid regime. Who said it? Candace Owens or the Ayatollah? That's the Ayatollah. All right. Israel is a terrorist state. It targets civilians. This is a genocide. Who said it? The Ayatollah Khamenei or Candace Owens? Israel is a terrorist state. It targets civilians. This is a genocide. Candace Owens said that. How about another one? The U.S. is a definite accomplice in the crimes committed by the Zionist regime in Gaza. Who said it? The Ayatollah. You ready? Zionists have a chokehold on Washington, and it's time people wake up to how they manipulate American politics. Who said it? It was Candace Owens. How about this? The U.S. has reached the peak of arrogance controlled by wealthy Zionists. Who said it? Ayatollah or Candace Owens? That'd be the Ayatollah. All right. Anyway, that was a fun little game. I think you get the point, right? Candace Owens sounds an awful lot like the Ayatollah, the supreme leader of Iran, who, of course, has vowed to eradicate Jews off the face of the earth. This is going to be hard for some people today, but I don't care. I don't shy away from honesty, obviously. There are a couple of opinions about there. I'll validate some of them, and this is going to get uncomfortable for you if you are a Jew hater. I don't mean you disagree. You can disagree with strikes or whatever else, but you need some facts. You need some common sense, and you need some to rid yourself of anti-Semitism. I just want to do this first. I mean, this is astonishing. This was a post from Candace Owens. And look, Drew, why are you picking on Candace? I mean, she happens to be a very prominent person. There are other people out there, Ian Carroll. I mean, there's a number of people, Stu Peters, that hold this opinion now, and it's sick. These people have something deeply wrong with them, and there's a hatred that underlies all of this that is hard to comprehend for me. And look, a lot of people have fallen for this. I have a really good friend out here I'm shocked by who is out here saying things like, everything was better before 1948. And of course, he's talking about before the creation of Israel. And I see that in these talking points that are very anti-Semitic, and that's one of them. The world was not better before 1948. The world was better before 1979. That's when the modern state country of Iran came into existence. So I'm going to give you a history lesson here. I've got facts. I've got receipts. I'm not sitting here blowing smoke like these other people. But I want to put up this Candace Owens post for you first, because this kind of stuff is just very alarming that it's so mainstream now. This is her response to Israel striking Iran, the most predictable war plausibly ever. I'm so sick of Israel and those who pretend its actions are normal or even remotely justifiable. This country has a bloodlust like no other. Have an issue with this tweet? I literally do not care. Think defending Israel's demonic actions is going to guarantee you a spot in heaven? Double your indulgences and sign your offspring up to die for Netanyahu. Leave the rest of us the hell alone. She says a lot. That's a pretty loaded tweet, isn't it? Pretty loaded post. I mean, obviously, she seems to be taking the side of Iran there. You're talking about Iran, which sponsors terrorism around the world. Iran's existence today, it's no secret. They repeatedly chant death to America, and they call for the annihilation of the state of Israel. So they're both anti-American and anti-Israel, and they make no qualms about it. They fund Hamas. They fund Hezbollah. They have killed countless American soldiers throughout modern American history. This is what Iran is responsible for. And somehow, when you put Iran up to Israel, Iran is run right. Iran is a theocracy. They're run by, the Ayatollah is the supreme leader. So it's a religious state, and it's run by radicals who, like I said, are calling for the annihilation of Israel and Jews and death to America. This is, and so comparing Iran to Israel, obviously Israel's not the bad guy. Swollen limbs, joint pain, inflammation, skin aging, and cognitive decline. These are just a few of the awful side effects that you can experience due to poor blood circulation. To make matters worse, it's highly unlikely your blood circulation will correct itself on its own, which means your health issues will only continue to decline as you age. And popping ibuprofen isn't a solution to your pain. It's only temporary relief, and it's only masking the true problem, which is inflammation. Right now, you can go to getkrill.com/Daily Clout to learn more and get a special free shipping offer just for being a listener of this show. New research proves there's a potent deep sea super nutrient tucked away 73 miles off the Antarctic coast, which is the hidden key to improving your blood circulation. Researchers are saying to add this Antarctic super nutrient to your diet. I'm talking about omega-3 fatty acids, but not just any form of omegas. These particular omega-3 fatty acids are sourced from wild-caught krill. The omega-3 content from krill oil has been shown to support healthy blood pressure, circulation, brain health, as well as reduce inflammation, swelling, and joint pain. Benefits just go on and on and on. In fact, some report it outperforms named brand pain relievers and see results in as little as 7 days. And it doesn't have the dangerous side effects ibuprofen does. Better yet, for a limited time, you can grab Native Path Antarctic krill oil at up to 66% off plus free shipping. Just go to getkrill, KRILL.com/Daily Clout. Getkrill.com/Daily Clout right now to get your special offer. But she wants to pretend like Iran in this situation. So Israel has a bloodlust, she says. What about Iran? So it's just really mind-boggling and disgusting to me, frankly, that this kind of thing is out there being repeated and said in such a mainstream way. The tolerable, and I guess I don't have it. I thought I had it. I've got a buddy of mine. I used to go on a show a couple times a month, I think, for the most part. Sean Farash, he's well known firstly because he's a great Trump impersonator, but I believe he's got a radio show now as well. Really talented guy, very sharp, very smart. I really like him. And he had a post out there about how, look, his only thing, he just doesn't want Americans to get involved in this war. He doesn't want American, troops, and he doesn't want American young men to die for this cause. And I think that's a totally acceptable point of view. But there's a lot of things being said that are like revision. It's like you don't live in reality. So we know for a fact that Iran is pursuing nuclear weapons. And I think that everyone can agree that Iran cannot be allowed to have a nuclear weapon. I don't think that's controversial. I think it would further destabilize the Middle East, certainly. And it just can't be allowed to happen. So that's number one. And they have been moving towards developing finally a nuclear weapon. I mean, that's the purpose of their research. That's not a secret either. If you deny that, you're not living in reality either. And so this moment was inevitable. Now, we had 8 years of the Obama administration, which allowed them to pursue their nuclear program. Now, you can lie to yourself and pretend, just like Democrats pretended that the Inflation Reduction Act addressed inflation. It had nothing to do with addressing inflation. It exacerbated inflation. You can pretend that his diplomacy with Iran, Obama's that is, oh, yeah, it slowed their nuclear. No, it didn't do anything, and it just allowed it to happen. And then we had 4 years of the Autopin administration of Biden. And so we're moving to a dangerous point. Now, I want to pull up this Candace quotation again. I'm so sick of Israel and those who pretend its actions are normal or even remotely justifiable. I mean, I don't know, Candace. Iran is, you can call it a neighbor. It's not right adjacent to Israel, but it's there in the Middle East. I mean, it's considered in the Middle East. Israel's surrounded by enemies. Iran has vowed to destroy you. That's, what it owes its existence to. And you want to claim that Israel's actions aren't justifiable to try and end the nuclear ambitions of Iran? What are you talking about? And how do you talk about Israel's bloodlust? I mean, so anyway, this moment was inevitable. And I think what's happened here, to be honest, some of you won't like this answer, but what we just saw here was a stroke of just genius by the Trump administration and Netanyahu. Donald Trump was trying to engage in diplomacy with Iran. He's been trying to engage in diplomacy for a while, but Donald Trump's a realist. And if you are a realist, if you're sane, you know that Iran is never going to give up its nuclear program. And in fact, that's what Iran refused to do. Iran was not going to change its heart and mind towards America and Israel. It just wasn't going to happen. So military action was always inevitable because you're not dealing with rational people in Iran. You're dealing with religious zealots. And so Donald Trump effectively, look, I'm just gonna tell you the truth. Obviously, the U.S. is involved in this. Now, the U.S. did not attack Iran itself, but the U.S. knew about the attack, and they did certainly work with Israel on this, it looks like to me. And I actually have no problem with that. I don't want to see a World War III, obviously, and I don't think that's where this is leading. A lot of people in the Middle East don't, in fact, like Iran. The only people who seem to like Iran are Candace Owens, the Ayatollah, and, Muslim lunatics that are, Islamists, jihadists out there, the mullahs, and so on and so forth. These are the people that like Iran. No one else likes Iran. They're a nutcase in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia doesn't act like this. Lebanon doesn't even act like this. I mean, it's insane. And if you think that Iran is not a threat to the United States of America, I don't know what you're smoking. Now, maybe they're not, as big a threat to us as they are Israel, obviously, but it is problematic. So I don't know what this is. Everyone says, the Khomeini, Candace Owens, this crowd out there that says, America is, Netanyahu's, biatch and all this stuff. I mean, obviously we have very close ties to Israel. There are 1,000 reasons for that. The primary one being that we helped create the modern state of Israel. So obviously we're involved. They are an independent nation, but we are tied together. There are religious reasons for this. There are strategic reasons for this. I mean, I don't like the Middle East. I hate the Middle East, to use a strong word. I mean, it's a place of barbarism that I can't even comprehend. We have nothing in common with those cultures over there. We saw the boondoggle that was Iraq, Afghanistan. I mean, I don't want nothing to do with the Middle East. But we also know that the Middle East is a threat to the United States of America, that in this day and age, terrorism is still a threat. That's just the reality. You see what's happening in Europe with the invasion that they've permitted to take place through immigration policy, and you have to understand and be honest about the root of Islam. Yeah, there are certain quote unquote peaceful Muslims out there. Certainly, I'm not saying every Muslim is violent, but the religion itself is not peaceful. I mean, read the Quran. I mean, it blows my mind that people pretend that, Islam is this amazing. No, it's not. Read the Quran. Look who Muhammad was. All right. I mean, look at how they react too. You had the guy, Charlie, whatever, Hebda or whatever it was, the magazine satire in Paris. And they printed an image of Muhammad, making fun of Muhammad or Islam. And they a bunch of zealots, religious zealots, went in there and beheaded the guy. They killed him. So that's just the reality. So anyway, look, this is simple. This had to be done. Iran's nuclear program couldn't be allowed to persist. This needed to happen. And, it did. And it looks like, I mean, what Israel's done here, whether you're a lunatic anti-Semite or not, it's impressive. It's impressive. I mean, when you face an existential threat every day, it's amazing what you will do to stay alive. And 4 generals. I mean, these attacks have been very precise and targeted. This has obviously been thought out and planned for a long time. Netanyahu has announced that they hit Iran, one of Iran's top nuclear facilities. And by the way, Iran has produced enough uranium, produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atomic bombs. 9. All right. So this isn't about nuclear energy and so on and so forth. This is the Natanz nuclear facility. That's one of Tehran's key nuclear sites, which everyone knows. Up until recently, it could produce enough weapons grade uranium to produce 11 nuclear weapons within a month. So that's how close they were to a nuclear, having the appropriate material to create a nuclear weapon. And so they hit that. They took out 4 generals. They took out 2 nuclear scientists. They took out one of a senior, politician in Iran as well. So it's just, they decapitated the military. Totally just decapitated them. And, they're naming replacements now and so on and so forth. But what is so just genius, truly. I'm just in awe. So obviously, yeah, okay, we're involved. All right. Yes, we are. We don't have boots on the ground. I don't want boots on the ground. And hopefully, because of the strategic brilliance of what was just orchestrated between Netanyahu, between the Israeli government and the U.S. government, Donald Trump is out there trying to make a deal. He knows a deal's not going to happen. Iran has made that clear. And so he continues to engage in diplomacy with them up until the last moment. And in fact, he didn't abandon diplomacy. He was supposed to continue a meeting out there. So he lured Iran, I think, into this false sense of security. So they did not know this attack was going to come. Donald Trump knew this attack was going to come. It seems like to me, based on what I've seen him say and just using my eyes and ears and deductive reasoning. And so Iran didn't have time to move these people, to hide them. They didn't have time to prepare for this attack. And so it was highly effective, as you're seeing from the results so far. And so anyway, the best case scenario is Israel does this, and we don't have to get involved, and the rest of the world stands down because they're afraid of the United States of America. And that's how this should go down. But to make some kind of argument that Iran is not a threat to anyone right now, that Iran is the good guys, and all this talk about stoking World War III, why would Iran stoke World War III? Who are Iran's allies? China? Russia? These people use Iran because they want to weaken the United States of America. And Iran, of course, like I've said, is sponsoring terrorism. They're sending, weapons and stuff around the world to fight us, to kill Jews, to kill Americans. So here we are. We live in the real world. Iran's a threat. It's 2025. The world did not begin today. And this has happened. So just quick history for you, especially for the people out there, the anti-Semites. You know, Iran actually used to be, well, it was Persia. It wasn't, modern Iran. This was created in 1979 because of revolution. So imagine this: before 1979, you had an Iran. I'm just going to call it Iran, not Persia. Even it gets confusing, but let's just call it Iran. Before the pre-1979 country that existed there, Iran, they got along with Israel. They got along with Jews. They got along with America. They were westernized for all intents and purposes. And then you had, of course, some people that had been exiled from Iran because they were radical jihadists, religious zealots who shout death to American, death to Jews. These people came back. There was a revolution in Iran, and they took back power and established the modern state of Iran, which was a rejection of the previous Iran, which was peaceful. And it was replaced by the country that we know today that sponsors terrorism and shouts death to American, death to Jews. So Iran has been a problem since 1979. And it was inevitable that something had to be done about it. I mean, you can't sit there and shout death to America and death to Jews and sponsor terrorism and celebrate murdered Americans and Jews and expect for there to be no response. So response finally came, and it it wasn't a matter of if, but when. And so now it's taken place. If you're like me and you're getting to that age where your body just hurts all the time, then listen up. Don't reach for another painkiller until you learn about this little known turmeric hack for pain and inflammation. You've probably heard about turmeric being used to fight inflammation and joint pain. But here's the thing. Not all turmeric is created equal. Regular turmeric powder in your pantry might help a little, but a leading pain doctor from Connecticut discovered a special turmeric extract that is 200 times more powerful than what you'd find in standard turmeric. And when he shared this turmeric hack with his patients, the results were shocking. This turmeric extract attacks pain at the source, turning it off like a light switch so that pain not only goes away, but stays away. Dr. Josh, the brains behind it all, has spent over 20 years helping hundreds of thousands of Americans finally break free from constant aches and stiffness. And his turmeric hack has been the backbone of their success. Say goodbye to expensive surgeries, pain injections, or ineffective over-the-counter medications, and say hello to pain-free living. This is incredible stuff. Once I started taking it regularly, I really noticed a difference. But again, you can't just take any old turmeric. So if you want to learn more about Dr. Josh, his turmeric hack, and the exact method for how to use it in your daily routine, just go to goldenrevive.com/daily clout. The link is right below this video in the description. Just click it and start your journey towards a pain-free, healthier life. But this is Iran, and these are the people that Candace Owens and maybe some of you, I hope not though, but maybe some of you, think are so wonderful. Oh my gosh, Israel attacked the great nation of Iran. How could they do this? Those bloodthirsty fiends. Anyway, so I want to move on. I think it's just like obvious. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I probably can't get through to some people who have been indoctrinated or just like have this irrational hatred of Israel and Jews. I mean, again, no nation's perfect. The US is certainly not perfect, right? But there's no comparison between Hamas and Israel. There's no comparison between Iran and Israel. It's obvious who the good guy and bad guy in that situation is, and it's the bad guy is not Israel, certainly. So anyway, but Candace Owens can't understand it. You've got a country next to you that wants nuclear weapons, that says they're going to obliterate you off the face of the earth, and she can't understand your justification for taking out their nuclear program that is designed to create an atomic bomb to drop and kill all the Jews. I don't know. Maybe somebody can help Candace out there. I don't know if it's possible though. All right, let's just move on to this Alex Padilla hoax. So Alex Padilla is a senator in California. Nobody knows what he looks like throughout the country. He's not a well-known figure. he's a senator, another lunatic from the state of California, and this was planned and orchestrated. So on Thursday afternoon, I guess it was. I mean, I live in California, so the timing might be off if you're thinking Eastern time or something else. But nonetheless, Alex Padilla. Now think about the context of this first. So you've got the Democrats who are just self-destructing right now. Because as I've explained so many times, the Democrat Party doesn't have a platform of things they're for. They are simply against Donald Trump and MAGA. That's it. So that explains the nonsensical policies and positions they take. They're not capable of, they don't make a decision on the left anymore about what is actually good or bad. It's just what is against Trump. So if Trump comes out against, looting, they're going to be for looting somehow. I mean, that's how insane that's what we're seeing right now. You have a political party that does not have any principles whatsoever. Their only North Star is coming out against Trump and against MAGA, which is insane. But that's where they are. So I want to play this because the media did its best since last week because so ICE went into Los Angeles and they had a mission. They were raiding certain facilities. It wasn't just going out in the streets and just arresting everyone they saw and asking for papers. That's not what was happening. These were targeted ICE raids of illegals who were here that were also engaged in additional criminal behavior. I mean, in addition to the fact that they are here illegally, which is criminal, right? So they were going in. And obviously the left wanted to orchestrate some kind of this event. They found out that ICE was coming somehow, and they organized protests throughout the city. And this happened very, very rapidly. These were funded protests. They're organized. None of this stuff is organic. The Democrats are just trying to create an issue to run on, to defeat Trump and Republicans in the midterms and to stall his agenda. And the other important thing here to remember is the reason the Democrats are so opposed to deportations. Now, look, approximately, it could be as many as 20 million illegals came in here just in the last 4 years. These aren't people that have been on the farms and in the hospitality industry for 40 years, even though they shouldn't have been here either. These are people who just came in the last 4 years under the Biden administration. And these are the people that we have to get out of the country. Now, what we're discovering and what we're learning, which should have been obvious all along, is that the reason Democrats fight so hard for illegals and open borders is because it gives them political power. So think about this. Even if these illegals don't vote, and we know that many of them do in Democrat states, but even if they don't vote, all right, in these Democrat states like California, you have to look at the House of Representatives, right? So power is in Congress. So the Democrats have between 20 and 40 additional representatives in Congress because of the counting of illegals in the census. So think about this. In California, it's not just citizens they're including in the census, right? So you have, remember this. Every 10 years, you conduct a census, and then the number of representatives you have in the House is adjusted to reflect the population change. So if the population shrinks, you're going to have fewer representatives. So more populous states in this country have greater representation in the House. Now, the Senate obviously is different. Every state's the same, equal, 2 senators. But the House is different. And so if you've got 20 million, 40 million, whatever the number is, illegals in California, and they're being counted in the census, even though they're not citizens, you're getting representation that is also reflecting illegals who shouldn't have any representation. Understand that? So that's why they're fighting so hard. So think about this. If you didn't have the illegals in California that you do, right? If these people weren't counted in the census, you understand that the control of Congress, it wouldn't be so close. The Republicans would have like supermajorities if you didn't have this taking place in these Democrat states. That's the point. You're talking about subtracting like whatever the number is. I don't remember what the exact number is in the House of Representatives right now, but just take away 20 or 40 or 60 Democrat seats. Holy moly, can you imagine? It'd be a totally different country, wouldn't it? But anyway, so Donald Trump goes in, ICE is there. These people are rioting in the street. Newsom and them aren't doing anything about it. The police are admitting that they don't have the manpower because the Democrat Party in California has defunded the police. They have police shortages. You can go and look up news stories about this going back year after year after year for the past 4 years. And they're shortages. And California and Newsom are admitting we're not going to do anything about this. And so Trump says, okay, well, I'll protect California. I'll protect Los Angeles. And more importantly, he's going to protect the ICE members because they're being assaulted. Bricks are being hurled by illegals and violent criminals. I mean, they're trying to kill ICE officers, federal agents. So Trump sends in the National Guard of California, California's National Guard. And the Democrats, go through all these theatrics. They try and claim that, people are just being like kidnapped like terrorists in, Iraq during the war. They're just being disappeared off the streets. And it's just not good messaging. As a matter of fact, listen to this. Oh, no. Didn't do great with my clip selection today. I had a clip from CNN that I don't have, apparently, in which CNN's covering the story and they're saying, oh my gosh, his support is going up. The number of people who support deportations is going up despite the Democrats' efforts. So now you have desperate Democrats who need to stage an intervention for themselves to distract, to change the narrative again. They need to create an emotional response. And so Alex Padilla, even while the Senate's in session, goes to California amidst these ICE raids and these riots that are happening. And Kristi Noem, the director of Homeland Security, who oversees so much of this, she's given a press conference, and Alex Padilla, because the Democrats coordinated this, Alex Padilla goes in with the intention of getting arrested. Now, I want to be clear about that. Alex Padilla, this whole story about Alex Padilla getting arrested and handcuffed and whatever else, Alex Padilla went to this press conference, and that was the purpose. That was the goal, was to get arrested. Now, listen to CBS, a reporter who was in the room, tell CBS, much to their surprise, what happened.
Very quickly, the DHS secretary did not skip a beat. She just kept looking straight ahead, kept delivering her message as he was dragged out of the room trying to ask his questions. It was only then, after he was being dragged out of the room, that he identified himself as a U.S. Senator, and that's when they brought him outside, and as you saw, they put him face down on the ground there and handcuffed him. I will point out that video comes from his aides. None of the media got that handcuffing video, and they came down outside and delivered it to all the media waiting out here within about 30 minutes.
Let's talk about Padilla's background. He was
all right, so there you go. He's telling you so, and you saw the video. If you're just listening, I'll explain what happened. So Alex Padilla comes in. He doesn't announce himself as a senator. You just heard the CBS reporter confirm this. And he charged, so you've got people sitting in chairs just quietly listening to this press conference she's giving, asking questions. Alex Padilla comes in the room. He's on the side. He doesn't sit down. He charges forward towards the podium, screaming his question. The guy looks like a homeless lunatic from the street. He looks like a radical leftist, dangerous person who's entered this press conference. And he's moving towards the podium. And so the FBI, the Secret Service, whoever's there to protect her, grabs him and tries to prevent him from moving towards there. Hey, dude, who are you? What are you doing? And Alex Padilla doesn't comply. He fights with the law enforcement. He pushes forward. He doesn't stop. He resists them. And so they pull him out of the room. And as he's being pulled out, then he says, I'm Alex Padilla. I'm the senator. Nobody knows this. Kristi Noem doesn't know what Alex Padilla, This reporter didn't even know it was Alex Padilla because nobody knows who Alex Padilla is despite him being a senator from California. He's not in the news all the time. This is not AOC. Ever wonder why your brain feels foggy, even when you're eating clean and exercising? It might not be burnout. It could be parasites. Groundbreaking research from Dr. Alan McDonald revealed a direct link between chronic parasitic infections and neurological diseases like multiple sclerosis. Parasites can cause inflammation, nerve damage, and long-term cognitive decline. More reason to do a full body cleanse at least once a year. The Wellness Company has a solution for you. Ivermectin plus mebendazole, the gold standard parasite solution, now combined in one cleanse combo designed to eliminate harmful invaders and support your immune system naturally. Medical grade, not some trendy herbal gimmicks. Fill out a quick intake form and get a 3-month supply shipped straight to your door. Maha is officially here, and the Wellness Company is making hard to get medications digitally accessible so you can live your best life. Head to Daily Clout Health and use Daily Clout to save $60 off, plus free shipping on all orders. Cleanse your body today. dailyclout.health and use Daily Clout. So this guy just comes. So this was a setup. He intended to do this. And the Democrats were already, the media was already with their response. This is like what they did on J6. What they were trying to do here is to create another J6 event. So Alex Padilla gets pulled out. His aides are there ready to film, and he gets handcuffed. And that's it. That should have happened. That should happen to anyone. And this is a guy who was supporting the arrest of Donald Trump, calling for him to go to prison. All these Democrats engaged in this lawfare. They didn't care about the country. All of the stuff they put us through, going after a former president of the United States, unprecedented. They cheered that. They said no one is above the law. Well, Alex Padilla, you're not above the law, buddy. Senator. Senators aren't even above the law. If I walked into that room and stormed the podium screaming a question in a hostile manner towards a Trump official, someone high up in the administration, I would be asked to leave. If I fought the people that were holding me back, I would be arrested as well. And so are you, Senator. So no one is above the law, Alex. Thank you for pointing that. Thank you for making yourself an example for all Americans. Not even radical lunatic Democrat senators engaged in these hoaxes and setups and theatrics are above the law, especially not people like that, Alex. So that's what took place here. Nothing scary happened. Nothing. I mean, what should have happened happened. But listen to Nicole Wallace. I mean, the hyperbole is just insane. Listen to this.
This was one of the bleakest days of anchoring that I've ever had in the job. I mean, I think.
So under the auto-pen administration of Joe Biden, you had 13 U.S. service members that were killed in the botched withdrawal from Afghanistan. She was ostensibly reporting that day. I mean, think about all the things that have. I mean, you've had illegals who have slaughtered, suffocated, raped, choked, killed U.S. citizens under her tenure. You've had plane crashes, but the bleakest moment in her career, in Nicole Wallace's career, right after J6, I guess, is Alex Padilla being arrested. This is why you people on the left aren't serious people. We don't take you seriously. You're a joke. But they're trying to manufacture. See, this is a Saul Alinsky tactic. This is a communist revolutionary tactic right now they're engaged in. This is what Alex Padilla just did. This is what Democrats do. This is a perfect moment for you to understand how Democrats work and why they're dangerous and why it's difficult to combat them sometimes and defeat them. Because they will create a crisis and then try and take it. It's not just that they never let a crisis go to waste. It's that they create crises. They manufacture these events, just like they manufactured J6. Now, remember, think about what's happening in LA, the juxtaposition here between LA and the National Guard and J6, the National Guard. And I wish I had the clip because Pelosi is out there lying through her teeth, rewriting what happened on J6 as well, saying that, she wanted the National Guard there and like Trump didn't. I mean, these people, They'll say anything. They have no moral compass whatsoever. So anyway, in LA, so actually, let's start with J6. So on J6, the National Guard was not there to deter violence. And they weren't there because the Nancy Pelosi and Democrats would not request them. Donald Trump wanted there to be a National Guard. He said, call in the National Guard. They're available. And they did not want them there. And so you didn't have a presence. But the narrative was, if the National Guard had been there, you could have deterred J6. So the Democrats did not want the National Guard present on January 6th because they wanted there to be hostility. They didn't want to deter violence. So obviously the acknowledgement is the presence of the National Guard helps to deter violent protest. So now you have Los Angeles, and suddenly the Democrats are saying that the National Guard are responsible for the violence. So the National Guard should have been there on J6 to deter violence, but in Los Angeles, the presence of the National Guard incited violence. And that's what Mayor Karen Bass and other Democrats are saying. Listen to this.
A week ago, everything was peaceful in the city of Los Angeles and in all of the representatives behind me in their cities as well. Things began to be difficult on Friday when raids took place. And it's important that I begin there because that is the cause of the problems that have happened in the city of Los Angeles and other cities. This was this was provoked by the White House. The reason why.
Isn't that incredible? Isn't that incredible? So it's like crimes are committed, cars are being lit on fire, vandalism is taking place around the city, and the criminal behavior was provoked by the presence of law enforcement. It's like, we got to get rid of our police departments, folks, because, these criminals, they wouldn't be killing, they wouldn't be robbing, they wouldn't be stealing, except in protest to the fact that there's police. So upholding the law, demanding law-abiding citizens, demanding adherence to the laws, that's the problem. That's the problem to these people. So anyway, but yeah, Alex Padilla, it's so pathetic, these Democrats. I mean, they just spent $20 million trying to figure out why men aren't voting for Democrats. And actually, we have an answer. So the Democrats got their answer. They spent $20 million to discover this. Male voters think Democrats are pansies. That's what men think. Democrats are sissies. They don't think they're tough. They do think Republicans, certainly in this current iteration under Trump, are tough. And that's why men are attracted to the Republican Party and MAGA and Trump and not the Democrats right now. Because guess what? Men like strong leadership. They don't like sissies. And so Alex Padilla is the quintessential sissy here. This guy's going and crying on camera about getting, pushed around by, the Secret Service or whoever it was, FBI, Secret Service, to cameras. Do you think men are watching Alex Padilla and saying, oh, look at that man. I want to be like Alex Padilla. I want to go cry to the cameras. Look at how the Democrats are reacting. There's no strength on display here. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. So, anywho, that's the deal there. Now, as I started to say in the beginning, Gavin Newsom did score what he believes to be a minor win here, a major win. He thinks it's a major win. But he went judge shopping and found a judge to say that the National Guard is going back under the control of Newsom. And so now this is ridiculous. This is totally unconstitutional. Now, the National Guard is a unique phenomenon because it's both federal and state. So both have control over it. And the federal government, of course, trumps the state government in this particular matter. So this is going to go to the Supreme Court ultimately, probably. This is going to get overturned. It's just ludicrous. But, I mean, think about this. Gavin Newsom's upset because Donald Trump sent in the National Guard, which did exactly what they were supposed to do. I saw the Democrats saying, oh, what a waste of money. You know, look at all these National Guards standing around here guarding the buildings, and there's no violence in sight now. Now, there was, but then it stopped. Yeah, no crap. Because guess what? Shock, the National Guard presence actually deterred the behavior. So Newsom here, I mean, God forbid there's more violence and protests in Los Angeles, but, you know, I kind of hope it happens. Not because I want people to get hurt, but because I want to see Gavin Newsom then. Let's see what he's going to do. I mean, Donald Trump saved him. Donald Trump saved him. Now, another bit of news here, but first, let me pull up a couple of these quotes, because this is the orchestrated act. So Padilla went in there in order to get arrested so that he could go out there and the Democrats could say, look, if Donald Trump's doing this to Alex Padilla, a senator, look, and obviously Donald Trump didn't do this. Alex Padilla did this to himself. Donald Trump didn't know Alex Padilla was at this press conference. Donald Trump didn't call the Secret Service and say, hey, you gotta rough this guy up. And he didn't get roughed up. He got pushed down on the floor because he was fighting them, and he got handcuffed. And so he wants to be some kind of, hero now. And they're trying to portray, of course, Donald Trump as an authoritarian who's using, why I can't take this seriously anyway, and why this is just such a joke is that we just spent 4 years of the Democrats using the FBI as the Gestapo. As the Gestapo. They targeted their political opponents. We know this. Donald Trump, somebody tried to kill him. He was shot. And now Democrats want to pretend that they're the victims. And this is the thing, too. You saw this tiff. Gavin Newsom was calling for himself to be arrested. Come on, arrest me, tough guy. If you're so tough, Donald Trump, come and arrest me. See, Gavin Newsom wants that to happen, too, because Gavin Newsom, he's desperate to be president. And he thinks that him getting arrested is going to suddenly make him like Trump. Because look, Democrats, all they know right now is that Donald Trump, they turned him into a victim and he won. They do understand that. They're not really willing to change their ways, but they do on some level understand that their actions, their lawfare helped Donald Trump get elected. They understand. And so Gavin Newsom's looking at this and saying, yeah, okay, that's the playbook. But he doesn't understand that he's a Democrat. He's not Trump. And he doesn't understand also that the situation is not the same. Because going after criminals is not the same as going after innocent people. Arresting an innocent former president is not the same as arresting a criminal governor. But he wants to get arrested because he thinks that he can be the left's Trump. That's the whole game here. That's the play. And it's dangerous. He's putting the lives of Californians at risk to fuel his political presidential ambitions. That's what Gavin Newsom's up to. But look at these quotes. Padilla, if that's what they do to a United States senator with a question, imagine what they can do to any American that dares to speak up. We will hold this administration. So they're victims. Here's Nancy Pelosi. This assault is not only on Padilla, but on freedom of speech and expression in our country. These actions communicate a message to all Americans that none of us is safe. So, yeah. So no American's safe. Donald Trump's an authoritarian. Look how scary he is. And I don't foresee it working. I don't think it's going to work. I just don't believe that. But that's the play here. That's the play here. But anyway, actually, so that's all I have time for. I got to sneak an episode in amidst a lot of stuff going on. But just food for thought. I really want you to think logically about this Israel-Iran stuff. Nobody wants, widespread bloodshed. Nobody wants American troops there. But this talking point from the Candace Owens camp and everyone else, that Iran is the good guys here and Israel. And it's insane, folks. The Iranian regime are not the good guys. Israel are not the bad guys here. She can't find the justification. I think it's justification. You've got a place that's trying to create nuclear weapons and they're saying death to America, death to Israel. And you take out their nuclear capabilities and their generals who are plotting to kill you. You know, just this year, like a month ago, 2 months ago, this year, you know, the members of the Iranian military, high level people were saying, we're planning our attack on Israel. We're going to take out Tel Aviv. We're going to take out, this place and that place. We're going to wipe you off the face. Yet October, I mean, spare me. This is not true. So anyway, I don't know. There's evil out there floating. I don't understand how it's capturing people's hearts. Like, all the things we're dealing with China, at home with criminal behavior, the open border, and somehow Israel is your issue. Like, Israel's the boogeyman in the world today. Like, what is wrong? What are you smoking? All right, this is Drew Allen, your Millennial Minister of Truth. God bless you all, and until next time.